Hello to all my Ohio State Buckeye football friends and fans out there. What a game. The Buckeyes go on to defeat the Texas Longhorns by a score of 14-7. Welcome all my sports fans out there to another sports edition of the Buckeye Vinny YouTube channel sports show. Sit back, relax. My friends, let's talk some Ohio State football. And what a way to kick off the 2025 college football season is the defending national champions, the Ohio State Buckeyes, going into 2025 without a doubt the biggest game of these players' career to open up a game in the shoe against number one ranked Texas and to take the Longhorns down by the score of 14-7. What a job the Buckeyes players did. What a job by Matt Patricia, the Buckeyes defensive coordinator. What a game plan that he was able to call up for his players and to bottle up Arch Manning and that Texas Longhorns passing attack. Now, my friends, let's go over some stats, being that I just mentioned Arch Manning. Arch Manning, 17 out of 30, 170 yards passing on the day, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Total yards for the Texas Longhorns, believe it or not, Texas outgained the Buckeyes by 133 yards. Texas had 336 yards of total offense, 170 through the air, 166 on the ground. They were led by Wisner, 16 carries, 80 yards, and Baxter chipped in for 10 carries for 40 yards. But my friends, bottom line, the Buckeyes were able to keep Wisner and Baxter out of the end zone. And for me, that was a big reason why the Buckeyes went on to win this game. And I just got to give kudos to the Buckeyes defense. What a job. C.J. Hicks, Arvell Reese, Lorenzo Styles, Igbinosun, Caleb Downs. My friends, this secondary played lights out football. They bump and run the very talented Texas wide receivers. And bottom line, it goes to show when Arch Manning completed more passes to his running backs than to his very talented wide receivers. Big reason why, that D-line and that secondary. My friends, what a way to start off 2025 if you're an Ohio State Buckeyes fan. Now, swinging over to the Buckeyes, winning this game, once again, 14-7. They were led by starting QB Julian Sayin. My friends, I just got to say this. His first career start, he notches his first W of the season against a number one ranked Texas team. Julian Sayin was 13 out of 20. I'll take that any day for a first-year starter. 13 out of 20, 126 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 0 turnovers. My friends, really, this is all you can expect from a first-year starter that came in very green, okay, behind the ears, okay, and for him to complete 65% of his passes, to have that 40-yard touchdown pass to Cornell Tate. My friends, bottom line, Julian Sayin did a nice job managing this Buckeyes offense. You know, like I just said, a very young quarterback. Personally, as a Buckeye fan, I was very pleased with Julian Sayin. He did not make any mental mistakes. He did not force the football in double coverage. He basically went off of Texas defense, and Texas came a lot of times with the blitz. And I thought that Julian Sayin did a nice job with his reads and was able to get rid of the ball to his secondary spots, which a couple times were running backs. C.J. Donaldson, he caught a couple passes out of the backfield, but I thought he did a nice job getting rid of the ball and finding Jeremiah Smith, their all-star wide receiver, six catches for 43 yards, and Carnell Tate. Only 2 catches, but he made the best of it. 2 catches for 49 yards and 1 touchdown, that 40-yard bomb. You know, my friends, bottom line, once again, as a Buckeye Nation fan, I was very pleased with how Sayin managed this offense as the first-year starter. Obviously, he went in very nervous, without a doubt. But I'm just going to say this young man kept his composure, and he did a very nice job bringing home the victory for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Once again, Buckeyes winning 14-7. Buckeyes, they were led on the ground actually by featured running back C.J. Donaldson. The transfer from West Virginia played a nice game. 19 carries, 67 yards, 1 rushing touchdown. That was in the first half. So the Buckeyes go into the locker room with a 7-0 lead. My friends, at that point, I was very impressed with the Buckeyes defense. How can you not? Okay, we're talking about a Texas Longhorns team that last season averaged 37 points a game. And the Buckeyes had them shut out for the first 3 quarters of this football game. Once again, my hat's off to defensive coordinator Matt Patricia. He brought his game plan. He knew what he expected from the Buckeyes linebackers and from the Buckeyes defensive back and secondary, and the players did not let the Buckeyes down and their fans. They did a perfect job of executing Coach Patricia's plays, and sure enough, that brought home the W. My friends, once again, if this is going to be any carbon copy of the Buckeyes defense a year ago, the Buckeyes could be very successful getting to the playoffs and possible national championship. But my friends, I don't mean to jump the gun yet. But what I'm getting at is, I believe that the Buckeyes held Texas with 4 times on 4th down. Texas was unable to come through, and the Buckeyes held them 4th and goal, stand from the 1-yard line. Arch Manning tried to quarterback keep it up the middle. No way the Buckeyes were going to concede that touchdown. And the Buckeyes defense, like they did a year ago, stood up and held the Texas Longhorns. My friends, what more can you say? This was a battle from beginning to end. And, like I said, Buckeyes had 126 yards passing from Julian Sayin, and the Buckeyes rushing attack managed 77 yards. So the Buckeyes total offense 203 yards. But my friends, bottom line, I've always said defense wins championships, and defense wins big games like this, especially against the number 1 ranked team coming into the shoe. Now you know how well that Texas wanted sweet revenge, not only to beat the Buckeyes in the shoe, but to get sweet revenge because of losing in the semifinals last season, 28-14. Not the case. The Buckeyes made darn sure that Texas was not going to come in to the horseshoe and come out victorious. So once again, my friends, my hat's off to the coaching staff. What a job Coach Ryan Day did. He did have some gutsy 4th down calls, and it turned out that it was gutsy, and the Buckeyes won the game thanks to the 4th down plays. And what more can you say with the Buckeyes defense? My friends, like I said, they held Wisner to under 100 yards rushing. They held Baxter to just 40 yards rushing. And, you know, my friends, going into this game, they were always already talking about Arch Manning, the famous young Arch Manning, already talking about him with the Heisman, and you kept Arch Manning to under 200 yards passing. Bottom line, my friends, the Buckeyes did their homework for sure, coming out victorious, winning this game 14-7. My friends, I've always said games are won and lost in the trenches, okay? And once again, my hat's off to the Buckeyes. Lorenzo Styles, what a job he did. Arvell Reese, the other big-time linebacker. Igbinosun, Caleb Downs, Matthews, the defensive back, C.J. Hicks. You know, bottom line, the Buckeyes defense brought it today in the shoe. And bottom line, the Buckeyes prevailed, beating the Longhorns 14-7. My friends, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please click on that subscribe button. If you like this video, which I hope you all do, please click on the like button. Please check out Super Thanks. Any donation to the Buckeye Vinny YouTube channel sports show is appreciated. And like always, not only do I love to read your comments, but I love to respond back to every comment that I do read. So please comment down below how you feel about the number 3rd ranked Ohio State Buckeyes knocking off the number 1 ranked Texas Longhorns in the horseshoe 14-7. My friends, in my last video, I predicted that the Buckeyes would find a way to win this game, and I also predicted it was going to be a very low-scoring defensive matchup, and it was just that. Like always, my friends, peace out. God bless you all. Click on this face right up here to subscribe. And until next time, that's all Buckeye Vinny has for today. Go Buckeyes! Buckeyes defeat number 1 ranked Texas Longhorns in the shoe 14-7. Buckeye Vinny's out of here.